Welcome back to Pole Barn Garage, where we are once again on the Silver Dollar Chevy Stepside. Now you might notice there's no Silver Dollar Chevy here, but there is a Stepside bed. We've got a whole bunch of parts here that we've got to get ready for paint. That means sanding, bodywork, assembling an entire Stepside bed, and then hopefully painting it and putting it on the truck in one video. We'll see if that works out. I have found a pretty good bed. These are really nice solid bed sides I've managed to come up with from my muffler guy, actually. Rose's Muffler, Grandview, Missouri. We have the original front bed panel, which is not too bad. Brand new tailgate, brand new steps, one new fender. They didn't have a driver's fender, so I have a new right-hand fender, and then a pretty rough driver's fender with some rust that we're probably just gonna ignore. Now we've already gone pretty in depth on bodywork and how to paint something. I'm probably just gonna kind of skim over things in this one. If you really want to learn how a car is taken from nothing and turned into something, watch the previous video on the Silver Dollar Chevy. These bed sides are in really good shape and they're basically rust free, but they are covered in, I mean, at least 3 coats of paint off of 2 different trucks, and I think we just got to start from scratch and pretty much strip them down to nothing. These things are nearly impossible to sand. There's so many nooks and crannies and stuff. It just is going to have to be what it is. But up inside here, you never see any of that anyway. But just try to get it the best we can. Alright, back out here today, and miraculously, due to the wonders of Hollywood magic, that bedside's ready for prime. It needed virtually nothing. This one needs a little bit of work. A couple of low spots I'm filling with a little glass, and then I'll smear a skin coat of mud over it. Try to get that top rail smooth. So, on to the next thing is this driver's side fender, which is obviously in pretty poor condition. We're gonna have our work cut out for us here. I'm going to save the easy stuff for last. Let's try to get this thing roughed in as best as we can. So I'm going to start by grinding out all this old filler and to see what we have underneath there. See if I can't hammer and dolly that out. So this has a decent amount of mud in it. Let's start grinding. This is where the bad rap of filler comes from. If they would have used fiberglass in this and not ran into something, I guarantee it wouldn't have cracked out. It would look fine. Always use short strand fiberglass as your base, then build it with filler. Now that I've got most of this dug out, I started digging over there. It's not quite as bad as over here. Most of the time when I find really bad bodywork like that, it's usually not necessary. I mean, this thing's all kinds of tweaked and bent and stuff, but I can straighten this. I need to pound that down. I need to kind of just tweak everything back out. But this can be done with a skin coat of filler, not that much filler. I mean, it's totally unnecessary. People overthink things and think they gotta work more than they do. I mean, you know, I can fix this. It's gonna suck, but frankly, I can't find another one. This is a 80s bed, what, like, I don't know, 80 to 87 bed. I'm probably gonna weld up this fuel door and then fill that. I mean, we could leave it, it wouldn't be that big of a deal, but since I'm already doing all kinds of work anyway, a little bit more mud definitely isn't gonna hurt this thing. Well, I haven't got all of it stripped yet. There's literally probably 6 layers of paint on this. And we're just gonna have to try to rough it in for now, so you can kind of see this whole thing was mud. I don't know why, and so was this up here. This was all mud. There's one dent in it. I mean, that's a pretty easy fix there. No rust, really. I'm gonna use my hammer and dolly to get this out. The dolly being the floor. Mud in it, but we should be able to do a lot better job. The key here is going to be to maintain the roundness of the fender, but we don't want it to stick out too far. We don't want any high spots because we can't get rid of those later. We actually want it to be a little low so the filler has some place to go, or I could spend the rest of my life here hammer and dollying this out. I don't really want to. going to mix up some short strand fiberglass here and just coat this whole thing in a coat of short strand just to reinforce it. Then we'll flat sand the short strand and look for any high spots. We'll be able to fix anything else in the filler. But I think we've got this to the point where we're looking at like 1/8 of an inch, you know, not 3/4 of an inch of filler. So this is a lot better. It's going to be a lot stronger. Pretty thin layer of glass on it, but it should be enough to provide some reinforcement. And we should just knock this down, mud it, nice skin coat of mud, and that's pretty well done. That'll last forever, no problem. I need to weld this door up, and the way I'm going to do that is by welding the door to the fender. I don't need it like seam welded or anything around it, just tacked in a few places to hold it still, and we'll glass the rest of it. Gonna be butch, but I mean it kind of already is, so. Good enough, we'll glass the rest. Alright, got all that glass knocked down, and this is a good base to add some filler to. I will say that pretty much everything else you've seen on this truck, and well, everything else, is actually pretty textbook bodywork. But this fender, oh no, Dalton's going full butcher, and that's important. You should be able to do both, because if you can't afford, or can't find, another fender, well, what are you going to do? You're just not going to have a truck? What's the fun of that? Like this is horrible. But screw it. Whenever you're trying to do super butch work like this, like say you're trying to just gob a rust hole full or something really bad like this, I'm going to try to push that glass down in the groove as much as I can, just so there's no air pocket underneath it. You'll get it in there. You'll know. Just like playing with Play-Doh, you know? And it's gone. And I got a coat of filler on this, so once that dries, we'll knock that down and start getting this into shape. There's a lot more dents to cover in it, but just wanted to get that big thing out of the way. Well, you can already tell it's starting to look like a fender. It's really not very thick. It's just got to get the shape right. Well, I'm back out here. It's been a while. I've been busy, and I'm carefully sculpting this fender into a fender. I'm trying to get this body line shaped, and right here is supposed to be just a little kick up in the fender that matches this body line that comes around here. This is pure sculpture at this point, understand? But what you have to do sometimes is if you just have nothing there, you've got to make it. So try to use your context clues. I have that side of the fender to go off of, kinda, and I have 2 more fenders to look at that sort of tell me where this shape is supposed to be. Is it where it's supposed to be? The hell if I know. But it'll probably look okay, especially once we put the sports stripe on it, and it covers it all up anyway. I've got another layer knocked down on this. It's looking pretty good, actually. I gotta say, those Greek sculptors got nothing on me. I'm just going around and marking anything that's really bad on it, which is, you know, pretty much the whole thing. I've made some progress. Most of the way through a 12-pack. I literally believe I'm going to have more work in this fender than I did in the entire truck. Remember the hole that was here? It's not here anymore, is it? You know why? A girl never tells, but I will. I put some tape, metal tape in there on each side of the hole and didn't just... Because once you start butching, you might as well keep butching. Well, I've been back out here for a little bit today. It's 100 degrees out. Very hot. Sorry, I haven't been filming everything. I'm just trying to focus on one thing, and that's get this damn thing done. I knocked all the mud down. It actually turned out much better than I thought it was going to. A little rough right here. Everything else is not bad. There's some low spots, and it's not perfect at all. But I need to put a coat of primer on this, just so I have some idea of what it's going to look like. This is a nice and roughed in for now, but that's about it. I did learn something. See that? You see that? Yeah. See how it's not there? Well, we're going to have to do something about that, or else just run one marker light. I found this piece of scrap metal laying around. I take this piece of used board file paper, push it down into this marker light hole. It's sticky, so I should be able to kind of see the shape of it, is my thought. Then I'm going to try to cut it out with a box knife. See the rough shape. It don't got to be perfect. So I've got my template. So I'm going to stick my template to our piece of scrap steel here. Then I'm going to make it up as I go, because that's what I always do on this channel. If you haven't picked up on that, there's really nothing I can do to help you. Bust out the 4-man plasma cutter, dar nibbler. Needs to be just a little bit skinnier to the lathe. Just the kind of high dollar operation we're running here, guys. Now we're going to grind away at the opening here, and thankfully this fender's made out of pure Taiwanesium. Because of that, we can actually effectively grind it away and just flush fit our patch in here. Not bad. I think it still needs a little taken off of it though. Yes. Let's see how bad I can screw this up. Ah, there's spiders in here. Shows how often I weld. Well, hey, primer clues. Ah! Well, that's ugly, but it'll work. Let's get a coat of glass on that and get it started. Sorry for the mowing noises. JD's earning his keep. You gotta do that with kids, you know. Let them earn the value of $1, you know. That's what you do right there. Make them mow 5 acres so you can play with cars. Well, I'm going to be using long strand fiberglass this time around. That's for one very specific reason, and that's that I'm out of short strand fiberglass, and this is all I have on hand. Long strand fiberglass is actually stronger than short strand glass. It's just really hard to work with. But you could like literally mold an entire car out of this stuff. That's what it's for. You kind of got to just cut it up and swirl it around. There's no folding it in or mixing it in really. It's just too strong and curly and long and sticky, and I'm not sure what adjective I'm searching for here, but you know what I mean probably. There we go. I mean really, that's all it needed right there. I might even give her a little bit on the back side. I think I will since I have it here. And that'll just make it stronger. I'm going to knock down this fender with some 180. If you remember the other new sheet metal on the truck, it was all really nice. This is, I can already tell, not that nice. The other sheet metal was premium, and this is not their premium line. I think you get what you pay for, but there's no other option for a Stepside. Yeah, we got a few things to fix here. I mean, you can see in the camera the stretch marks in this metal. Now, most of that will block out, but just goes to show, you know, you can have all new sheet metal and you're still going to do a lot of body work. Like, look at this. This is not a circle. This is like, you know, half of a stop sign right here. You know, I'm going to have to fill that and just make that round again. There's really nothing else to do with it. Well, I'm letting some mud set up on that fender over there. So we might as well get the rest of this stuff ready for a coat of primer. I kind of just got to get everything in a coat of primer so I can see what I'm doing. This is the original front bed panel off of the truck. And it has some, well, rust, maybe you might say, from hauling a salt hopper around. But that's okay, because we'll just butch it and hide it, and we'll keep that between us, because, you know, you're not going to talk, right? I got some little pinholes in the top edge of this thing, and you know, I've just dinged them in with the hammer, and I'm just going to blast them up because it'll be just fine. This repair will live longer than the truck. I absolutely guarantee that. Overall, this thing's in, well, exceptionally bad shape, so it'll work great for what we're doing here. Painting it black, trying to make it look decent. You know, that's always pick the worst stuff you can instead of spending $60 on a new panel. While we wait on that to dry, I have this rusty metal primer, whatever that means. So we'll just hose all this rust down with it. That's going to fix it for sure. Oh yeah, that's fixed. Beautiful. Our fender sans marker light's turning out pretty good. Needs one more. Oh, don't fall. Needs one more coat of filter on that maybe, and that should be good to go. This all turned out pretty good. You can see, filled in those pinholes real nice. That's a decent repair. It'll last for quite a while. Up here, out of the weather and stuff, that'll last forever. but even down low, it would last for 5-6 years. And vents filled real nice. Those have probably been there since the truck was new. I am going to get a little glaze coat right there on those dings. And that's about it. So we're going to get a little bit of more mud on this, and then a little more mud on that. We're going to scuff up those steps, scuff up the tailgate, and hopefully this week sometime I can prime something. So this tailgate is from LMC's premium line of sheet metal, and just after a quick once over with some 180, I mean, there might be some minor imperfections in this, but as far as dings and like those ripples and stuff we saw in that Stepside fender from the stamping process, I don't see anything here, which is pretty impressive because this is a much more complicated piece than that fender. Pretty much rough this thing up with a Scotch-Brite and she's ready to go for prime, which is that's a relief. I was wondering how I was gonna prime these, you know, without having to flip them over like you flip your chicken nuggets. My genius amazes myself yet again. Thankfully, I'm so humble that nobody really notices. What I did is I just screwed these to the sawhorses with one screw. You know, that'll hold it for sure. Man, I gotta be the smartest dumb person alive. We're all laid out, ready for priming. Got our high-tech ventilation system running. It's 106 degrees out right now. Mighty Kmart box fan is putting it into work, you know. And that one too. So, you know, we got the cross draft going in here. And again, we'll be using our Speedo Coat Select, which I really like. However, I just looked in the can and realized I'm almost out of it.
I'm going to prime the hell out of this fender because it's really bad. The rest of the stuff doesn't really need that much work. Not too bad. Looks alright. Looks like a fender. This is where the fuel door used to be. You don't get this kind of professionalism just anywhere, if I can tell you that. I found a problem with my professional body panel holder thingy. Can't really get in there. Marks are white.
This is the real budget channel right here. Literally scraping the bottom of the barrel. Alright, we're back from getting supplies. And you get this U-Pole 2K primer with catalyst for under $100 at O'Reilly if you have a shop account there that is completely legitimate. Stir them though, because they usually sit on the shelf forever. Wow, that's not chunky. You see that?
Yeah, it's usually like clumps.
There ain't no chicken nuggets or nothing in the bottom of that. There ain't no prize at the bottom of the Cracker Jack box this time. Dang it. Well, it all looks pretty decent. Definitely got some block sanding to do and a few little screw-ups to fix, but I'm going to call the tailgate done. The steps are done. That front bed panel's probably done. It doesn't need to be very good, really. The fenders need a lot of work, and the bed sides need a little bit of work. Thankfully, we have that big sport stripe to put on them, you know, just kind of hide everything. And that's how you do body work right there. You just hide it. All right, well, I'm probably going to try to block sand this a little bit later on tonight, but in the meantime, let's go ahead and get us a guide coat laid down so we have something to block. And we're going to be doing a lot of that on these fenders. Those have been appropriately zebra striped. The time has begun to start the never-ending process of block sanding. And block sanding. And block sanding and block sanding. Well, where the bulk of the damage was in this fender actually turned out pretty nice. It definitely needs a little bit more work. That could be done with glazing putty and more blocking though. A little bit low right here. Probably need a little glazing putty. And for whatever reason, there's actually more damage up here. I don't remember what was here, but there's definitely a little bit of damage. Probably gonna need a skin coat of glazing putty yet again. But I'm gonna leave that for Dad actually, and let him work some of his magic, because we really need these fenders to look decent. Same goes for this one, which shouldn't be quite as... Well, Dad came out here and did some work while I was gone today, and I'm glad he did, because these look just about ready to go. I think he said he put some icing in this one, just smoothed out the top of it. A little bit of something there, a little bit of a low spot there, no big deal. A little bit of low spot here, which I'm not worried about. It goes under the lip of the bed. You can't even see that. This all turned out really nice, though. He did a great job of just finishing off what I started there. Tell you the truth, guys, I'm getting pretty burned out on the bodywork part of this. I kind of want to, dig into that. Let's reassemble the truck. I'm ready for that phase, but I'm not there yet, obviously. So I've been blocking this thing with 180 grit sandpaper, and well, hell, it looks fine. I don't see any reason to go back and prime this again, so bust out the 320 grit sandpaper, and let's just go ahead and get all this ready for paint so I can do that tomorrow, and then I can be done. Nothing bad has ever happened when someone cut corners in the interest of time. The reason we're switching up to 320 instead of the 180 is it's a finer grit sandpaper, which means the scratches you're leaving in the surface are much finer. Now, you're going to hear a lot of guys say, oh my God, you got to use 800 grit sandpaper to prep a car. No, you don't. Use this, follow it up with the Scotch-Brite, and it's going to be just fine. But now look here. This is a red Scotch-Brite, right? I have 320 the whole fender. Now you can cut a lot of corners, but don't cut this one or you'll fall off the cliff. You need this. This smooths out your surface. This will make sure you have a uniform surface to paint. It's not going to make sure it's straight. It's not going to make sure your body works good, but it'll make sure that that paint lays down nice and even, and that's what you want. When you've got a big flat expanse like this bedside, it's okay to use a DA in your final prep sanding. Don't use a board file though, nothing with a straight line, but the random nature of the dual action sander will work pretty well. Last stop on the sand every goddamn thing in this place train, the numbers matching front bed panel. So I'm just going to sand this real quick, then I'm going to get to cleaning this place out. We're going to be ready to spray some paint tomorrow, guys. I'm excited and a little nervous. It's going to be like 100 degrees tomorrow. Not ideal, but you at home, what are you going to do? Go in your climate controlled, $10 million shop with 80 bays? No, probably not. You're probably going to do it in your garage or your driveway. This is how you work if you're a regular person. A little better in here. Now this might be a little overkill, but Super Clean sent me 6 gallons of Super Clean. So I figured, why not put it to use? You asked and they listened. They sent me a bunch of stuff without me even knowing. But 6 gallons is still a little off of 55, so you better go check out Super Clean, buy some, and then tell them, hey, send them 55 gallons. Well, I think we're ready to paint today. The Super Clean did a great job on the floor. Got everything laid out just so I can just, it's a lot of engineering went into laying this out last night. And I have my highly advanced new filtration system put up here. I'm pretty sure those are fish tank filters. They kind of have the natural cross-flow ventilation with how well that door seals. So that might actually help us out here. We'll see. We're just going to go ahead and prep everything with some degreaser. And I did actually have a couple of questions last time on this. They wondered why I used this first and then a tack cloth. Well, that's because if you're using any kind of towel, there's a good chance it's going to leave a thread or something behind. I'd rather tack that off. You're not going to leave any glue residue on your panel with those tack cloths. They're literally meant to do that. Just going to wipe everything off. Now microfiber towels weren't in the budget this time, so I cut up some old t-shirts and give it a dry wipe off afterwards. It's pretty much go time. I changed out the nozzle on this new gun to a 1.3 millimeter nozzle. Why? because the can told me to. I don't have an explanation for everything, okay? We're to mix up our paint 2 to 1 just like before. Then we're going to use a different clear coat on it when we get there. I don't think I have enough left clear out of this paint kit to coat everything properly. No catalyst in your base coat, you just dump the paint in there. Should flow through your strainer nice and easy. Dispose of that in an environmentally friendly manner. And let's see how this $38 Amazon gun does. I bought it because it came with those different tips. Alright, we're ready to go. It's showtime. Set the fan, set the volume. That should be alright. Probably reduce the pressure to paint the small parts like the steps and that front bed panel and stuff, because we don't want to be blowing a ton of paint at it. There's no reason to. Don't get any runs in your base coat. You can't fix those. Gun's spitting really bad. I don't know why. I don't like that at all. I think, you know, maybe the $38 Amazon gun wasn't the best choice. I had to call my dad to bring me his paint gun because this thing is not going to cut it. I don't think I can use this at all. God, what a piece of shit. Our dad ran me his paint gun from his house, and well, let's see if it fares any better. Much better. Starting to rain. Better see how bad this gets before I continue.
I think I'm probably safe to paint the tailgate.
Smart thing to do here would be to stop. I think I will for a second. We're just gonna hit pause for a moment. I'm gonna go outside, look at the sky, and make a decision. Let's see what the sky tells us. Oh fuck. Oh. God dang it. Nothing's better at summoning rain than painting a freaking car, man, I tell you. Thunderstorms likely around 3 p.m. Currently 2:44. I say I agree with him.
I'm going for it. This stuff dries pretty fast. You can probably at least get the base coat on.
Alright, base coat has been applied. We got paint all over the lens of the camera. I gotta clean that off. But you can tell it's black. So we're gonna let that dry off and we'll come back with some clear coat in about 30 minutes.
Story of my life. Wasn't supposed to rain at all today. And yeah, of course.
Well, we made out okay. Everything looks alright, minus we had some water on this fender. It's really no big deal. The good thing is this base coat flashes so quickly. I actually didn't really do anything to it. We're gonna wipe it off and hope for the best. Rain's supposed to clear out of here in about 35 minutes. Don't ever do this, by the way. I don't know if that goes without saying or not. The rain's cleared up, so let's get to spraying some clear and make this stuff shiny. You know what they say about Midwestern weather? If you don't like the weather, just wait a minute. Oh, God. Oh, it's so stupid. We're going to mix this clear 2 to 1. I'm going to mix 2 cups, so I got a backup cup. And we're going to get this done. Oh, I should be pouring it this way. Is this clear any good? I have no idea, but it was cheap.
One coat down, and boy, everything looks really straight. I really like to see that. I mean, it is arrow straight.
Well, I think I'm going to call this good. Everything turned out pretty nice, except for one damn thing. A water droplet dripped off the ceiling and it's not even raining. How does that happen? God dang it. We'll try to fix that. It'll be alright. It kind of tucks up under the bedside anyway. It'll be fine, but it's just a little aggravating. Just saying, but the rest of this is beautiful. We've got some runs in the tailgate. You can see in there. I'll be able to fix those easy enough, and we're putting tailgate letters on it. That actually worked out just fine. Well, it's been a few hours, and all the parts are dry to the touch. Not dry enough to handle, obviously. That said, we've got one more key component that we got to finish before we can put that thing together. And what that is in this big box here that came from Brother's truck. And now, it wasn't cheap, I'm not gonna lie to you guys, but I think it's probably well worth it. So let me struggle to open this and I'll show you. What we have here is a genuine oak hardwood bed floor kit. And the Brothers kit is pre-drilled. That's why I went with them. And then while I was at it, I said, why the hell not go ahead and spend the money and get the oak, get the good hardwood stuff, you know. But anyway, this stuff needs varnished. It feels pretty decent already. I don't really think it needs sanded, but a coat of varnish to protect it would be nice. Now I'm about out of sawhorses, but I've got some small ones set up over there. We'll throw them on there. I'm just going to keep it the light oak color. I'm not interested in trying to stain that or anything. I think that look right there will be very similar to factory. We're going to hit her with some of this Helmsman Minwax stuff here, which I guess is outdoors. I don't know. Put one or two coats of this on here. Give it a little bit of gloss. Make that grain stand out and protect it for hopefully a long, long time. I'm sure everybody who is actually a carpenter is probably losing their minds right now. But, well, I don't really know anything about wood. I'm pretty good at painting things, like, you know, cars. You throw wood into the mix, whew, everything goes out the window. Why? I don't really know. That looks wonderful. Bet you didn't know you were getting a home improvement episode today. I'm full of surprises, what can I say? I know I need my sweatband back though. Good God, it's hot in here. That is going to look excellent. And it is soaking it up pretty good. Probably going to need at least one more coat, but that's a good start. We'll get that done, and we're going to be ready to put the bed on the truck, guys. I gotta say, I think she's looking pretty good. That's what I got 2 coats on this. Now it's semi-gloss clear, so it's going to die down a little bit, which is good. I kind of wanted a more natural look for the wood. Hopefully it's dry and ready to handle tomorrow, because while I don't really think I could handle these parts, I could at least assemble the bed floor on the truck. Because the cool thing about the Stepside is you can assemble it piece by piece onto the truck. You don't have to assemble the whole bed and then try to flop it on there. It can go on one piece at a time, but you got to start with the floor, which is why it's not on the truck. I'm rushing this a bit for your guys' sake on the video, so if I screw it up, it's really your fault. This is going to be a lot like putting a puzzle together without the box or any instructions, and all the pieces are the same. But other than that, it should be fairly easy. And it would appear to me that you have to assemble the wood onto these supports first. We'll be assembling this with these polished stainless steel bed strips from Brothers Truck and the stainless steel hardware that goes with it. Why? Because it's shiny and I like it. Now, if I were a betting man, and I am, I guess that you put the middle together first. These have big holes in them to bolt to the frame. That's what actually holds the truck together. It looks like the strips space out the planks so that you can get the bolt through it, which is nice. At least I don't have to do any drilling. Oh yeah, it's all making sense now, except for these holes in the middle that don't seem to go to anything. Literally, they don't do anything. What the hell are those supposed to hold? God dang it. Okay, so the random holes in the middle here actually don't go to anything. They just have bolts and washers. Just for looks, I guess. I don't know, whatever. I've made a discovery. So instead of trying, the way to do this is to build it on sawhorses upside down and then, you know, whatever. But I'm scared to flip these upside down because they haven't cured enough yet. You know, I am rushing it a little bit. you could get away with rushing it. You got to be a little careful when you do, you know what I mean? So I made a discovery. So if you set your strip down like this, right, without the wood next to it, is just loosely assemble the strip to the reinforcement braces, and then you could just kind of cock the wood up underneath it. It saves you the trouble of having to fish around for all those bolts. And then repeat that process about 8 more times on that one. You know, I can't help but think that I might have chosen the most difficult way to assemble this bag. But that's what I like to do. We don't do these things because they're easy, but because they are hard, or whatever. I don't know, Jack. All right, well, the bed is loosely assembled. I don't know. I don't think this is how you do this, but you know, it's how I'm doing it. I think it's time to install the numbers matching front bed panel. Ooh, yes, it's the only original piece.
You're throwing out all those fancy terms now.
Yes, really.
The holes kind of actually line up, though.
They do, and we do have to drill the outside holes for the bed side and for this.
You didn't say this was a word-working experience.
I think we should line up the wood first, maybe. Fortunately, I have. Oh God. Yeah, this is going really good. We are using precision measuring instruments.
You don't worry about this little end over here. You just push on it.
Yeah, and then the square's right
perfectly
up.
square.
The square squares right up. But actually, it's not too bad. I think we eyeballed it fairly close.
Especially just for hitting it with the palm of your hand. That worked pretty well.
I'm telling you, I don't even know what a tape measure. Well, that bed is looking marvelous. The floor on that thing's nicer than my house. So now it's time to ruin it. I have to drill all these outside holes through the cross member under here so that we can bolt the bed sides down. And in the interest of trying not to destroy the bed floor, Cody will hold that 4x4 on there, and then I'll just, you know, jam this through, drill through his hand, and then we'll go to the emergency room here shortly.
Good. Okay. Beautiful.
Oh!
That actually worked really well.
I don't know if I need to go to a bigger bit.
I mean, how much wiggle room do you think we need?
But probably more. Let me get a bigger
Okay.
bit.
I don't know if you're drilling anymore or just forcing it through
Burning.
the piece of wood.
It's like a punch.
Oh yeah, we're about 1/8 of an inch from the front of the bed there, and we're about 1/2 inch from the front of the bed here.
Oh, it's perfect.
So it's exactly the way it needs to be.
It's okay because I used a 1/2 inch drill bit. So to attach 3/8 hardware. See? Math.
Oh, got it.
It's fat. It's just gonna drop right in.
No, this front corner is bent in.
Oh.
I need to bend it out, and I can squeeze it past this.
Well, this one's pretty good, and this one could work, and that one's pretty good. This one is nowhere near it. Those front two look great. That one, not really.
You want to mark the ones we need to hog out?
Yeah! Whoa! Just that one. Oh, yes, yes. So the front bed panel is attached with a couple of fender bolts on each side, then bolted nutted, and we can get those in easy enough.
Yeah, that went right in.
It's sitting in there pretty flat now.
It's better than I thought.
Yeah, it actually lines up nice. I mean, other than all the beating it took, and I hogged out like 6 inches of wood. But other than that, it's great. Not that you would ever know, so who cares?
Yeah, exactly.
The only thing that bothers me is I missed that edge of that of that.
Oh yeah, you did.
Yeah, so paintbrush time. All right, so this one has one stud left on it, and the rest has just been drilled out, so it actually should be easier. But out there,
That one's okay. That one is not even remotely close.
no, this one's like
That one's okay. This is just a solid piece of wood. That's just a solid piece of wood.
Well, we never drilled those.
Wow, then perfect.
Yeah.
See, we thought ahead. This number with a little bit of that,
We'll drill one.
and then jam it bolt in, and it'll be all right.
Had to cut all the studs out of this one. And then we just drilled holes in them, and now we'll just do that and paint it black, and nobody will ever be the wiser. Except for you, but you know, you keep your mouth shut if you know what's good for you.
What you doing up there?
This seems to have made it a little more complicated.
Oh.
Uh-huh.
Let's try that.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Maybe?
Yeah, it's not spinning up here. It's not yet.
Okay. Must have bit then.
Yeah.
Just drive them in sideways, just like GM.
That's why they got tapered tips on them.
It's literally why they are tapered, yes. We got 4 more fender bolts to put in the back here to reattach this rear bed brace. Actually, it's just 1 fender bolt and then 1 regular bolt and nut. All right, so we'll bolt it in with our, I mean, look at this hardware that they provided. And this is how you know you can trust my reviews on things when I get sponsored products. Because Brothers Truck, what are you thinking? I mean, we're going to use it because it's going to help us in this situation.
Yeah, for us, this is good.
But that is a 3/8 bolt. And look at, like, the washers they provide. What?
And this is
Yeah, they did that.
pre-drilled
I didn't do that.
for this kit, and it's all a kit for all this together.
It all came in those boxes. So I have one from LMC Truck as well. But these are just zinc plated, and the Brothers kit came with stainless. But even the LMC kit comes with this countersunk washer, and it's the same thing, just with a different head. I don't know, but we'll use them and just bolt it down with it and never put anything back here. Let's go ahead and just line this piece of cake, really.
Just scoot it.
Just this way, right?
Pretty much. Alright.
Oh yeah, it's got to go to the passenger.
My way.
Yeah.
Whoa. Oh, right
Yep,
there's
there.
perfect.
Nailed it. That's good on all of it. Alright, so the bed is attached, but this bolt here is broke off in the frame. So we're going to fix that with some super glue and this bolt that I cut off, and we'll just glue this down in the hole. So, you know, we'll just take this off. Yes, I can see all the Karens losing their mind. Right now, I live for this stuff. I hope you know that. Put a little glue on the head of this bolt. Put a little glue on the back of the washer here. Oh, lots of it though. Lots of it. Look at all the glue. You guys love it, I know. That is installed. That bolt's been in there the whole time. What are you talking about? Yes. See? Would you ever know? No, you never know. It's not like those bolts are actually going to hold the bed on anyway, so who cares? It is stout.
It is.
And it is reattached to the truck.
It's not flexing and twisting like it was. It's pretty sturdy.
We're going to put fenders on. Oh, yeah, I'm sure.
Oh, you're good. Pivot.
Okay.
This is the new one, right?
Yes, this is the one that will not fit. Somebody's got to be on the inside.
Did I hit the hole?
I think you're in it. Holy crap. Spin away, sir. Start. Well, that's good. Hello, fender. How are you? I mean, I really like making sweet love to this fender. If you can hurry
lift it up a little bit. Okay, all right. And then moving around a little bit.
Sure. What do you need?
Up.
You know, it almost fits. Oh boy. Come here, you fat bastard.
Hey,
Shut
come over here.
What are you stuck on? There's a real fender right there. I love this fender number 2. Well, a death storm has moved into the vicinity. Yeah, you know, we could die, you know. I mean, make sure you hit subscribe to find out if I live. You know, if you don't, I could die and you wouldn't even know.
No clue.
How would you know how to celebrate then, you know? We got both fenders hung on it, bolted on in place. Even got the braces put in. Yeah, that looks great.
It looks awesome.
I was able to put one step on. I still got to put the brace in it. The other step, I think I need to drop the damn gas tank to do it. We should have put it on beforehand, but I'm definitely not pulling the truck apart to do that, so I'll drop the gas tank. I have to get a new filler hose for some reason because Taiwanese fender, well, it's about 3 inches short. We got a lot yet to do, but I gotta say, I think things have come along pretty well. And also, I'm missing the little collar things that bolt the tailgate on.
Basically the hinge for the tailgate.
Yeah, I don't know what happened to those. I think I broke them, and I don't know. Somebody go watch the videos and tell me what happened to them. Well, thanks, Cody, for helping me with this.
Yeah.
I could not have assembled this by myself. Well, not well, anyway.
No, it would have been a pain in the butt to try to do on your own. I am shocked. I think it looks fantastic. I am
so cool.
It is way above any expectation I had.
Yeah.
It really looks great.
And I had none. So
80-mile-an-hour winds. Take shelter in a sturdy building.
Okay. I'll just go ahead and start showering out here. Ah, my God. Your building's not watertight.
What?
I don't get it.
Why, what do you mean? This is a $1 million 80-bay shop. Oh my
That
God.
came on fast.
Wow.
I bet you it was, what, 15 minutes?
Yeah. God, it was clear as could be all day. It's been hot as hell. Freaking trees are sideways.
Holy crap.
it's the next day, and I know I already ended the video, and I hope you're still watching because, well, I want to pull it out and see it in the daytime. So let's pull it out. Well, I think it goes without saying that that looks absolutely fantastic. Oh, I got the other step on too. I forgot to mention that. I didn't have to drop the gas tank to do it after all. I was able to weasel my hands in there. Look at that thing. I rinsed off the dust with the hose. It's the only reason it's wet. That paint cured enough that hurt it. I mean, guys, can you believe that's the same truck? Oh my God. She's a beaut. Can't wait to get the tailgate on. I got the trunnions coming tomorrow, so we get that bolted on. This thing will be complete for the first time in a few months. Well, anyway, guys, I think we pulled her off. Oh, the door ain't shut. That's why it looks weird. There we go. I gotta get the rubbers in those doors, help them shut. Which I have, and I have a lot of other things too, and it still needs a lot. And you know, next time you see it, we'll probably be cutting and buffing on it, putting the stripes on it, which I have, and everything else that it needs. I have a brand new grill for it, marker lights, and the whole budget thing just kind of went out the window as I slowly started to really like this truck, and I do think it's worth it. Although, I mean, even all said and done, I think I'm under $5 grand in the truck. So that's a lot of truck for $5,000, guys. But anyway, we'll see you guys next time on Pole Barn Garage. Make sure you hit like, subscribe, and tell anybody you know that there's this idiot in this ramshackle barn that's able to do a little more than patina. You know what I mean?